Namaskar dear Cambridgians. Today I am going to teach you chapter 7, that is review Python. Okay, so before starting this chapter, let me tell you that every computer, no matter if it is any mobile, if it is any tablet, if it is any fully automatic washing machine, anything, okay, all these smart devices follow a simple procedure of IPO, that is input, process and output. Okay, and input can be given as a click also and in the form of a program also. Okay, so when these inputs are fed into the computer, they are being processed and then they produce output. Okay, so IPO cycle is the basic requirement or the basic structure of all the digital devices. In fact, in our mechanical devices or in our daily life also, supposedly a person, you are asking a person to come in, okay, then the person, you are giving input, the person will process it, it will the person is going to understand it and that person is going to enter the room, right? So this is known as IPO. So each and every individual, the digital devices and everything follows this IPO cycle. Now in terms of computers, if I am saying that we are feeding programs into the computer, then these programs are basically the set of instructions. Okay, program is basically set of instructions. Okay, and these set of instructions collectively are known as a program, and collection of programs can create a software, right? Next is features of your Python language. Beta, in this chapter we are studying Python. Python is a high level language. Okay, Python is a high level language. Okay, and there are few features of this language, that is why it is being used by all the students at the school level also. And Python has its wide spectrum of applications where the coders or the programmers are using this language in order to create high profile softwares. Okay, so first of all, Python is simple, as the syntax and learning of Python is quite easy. That is why we are learning this in school also. And it is interactive. That means user is equally involved in this particular language. Okay, platform independent. See, when we are talking about high level and low level languages, the main difference between these two is platform dependence. Machine level languages or assembly level languages were machine dependent, they were not portable, right? But Python or all the high level languages like C, C++, Java, these all are platform independent. That means the program created on one machine, on one platform, can be carried out to other machines and it will run the same way it was running in the previous machine. Okay, so Python programs are platform independent. Case sensitive. Case sensitive means if any function, supposedly the print function is defined in the lower case in your Python, and if you are writing like this, then it is not same in your Python language. So case, the lower case or the upper case, you have to take care in this Python language. Okay, but there are not so many keywords that you have to learn, like print function, input function, type function. There are few like 2 or 3 functions only that you have to remember, but it is a case sensitive language. Next is beta object oriented language. Object and classes. Okay, objects and classes are basic fundamental characteristic of every high level language. Okay, like supposedly you have to mention one characteristic for all the elements of your program. Okay, this is one program in which I have almost 100 lines of code. Okay, 100 lines of code I am having, and then I am using 5 vegetables here. Okay, 5 vegetable names I am using. So if I have to define one property for each one of these vegetables, like you have to wash every vegetable before using it. Okay, so if I am defining this property for 5 times, 1 2 3 4 and 5, so then 5 lines will be added in this, so the total line of codes will be 105. Alright, supposedly there are 15 vegetables for which I have to write the same line. I have to mention the same rule that you have to wash before using, then the line of codes will be 115. So why to make unnecessary announcement again and again in your lines of code, where you can create classes and objects like there is one class vegetable and all the different vegetables are its objects. Okay, this is a class. For example, in your school also, supposedly I am taking example of 9th A. Okay, so 9th A is a class and all the students of 9th A are the objects of that class. Suppose I have to ask them to come to the music room, right? Then rather than going to each and every individual object of that class and telling that beta you have to go to music room, what I'll do is I'll stand near the door and I'll announce in the whole class. Okay, so in this way in your programming also you can create classes and objects, and same property that you are defining for a class will be applied to all the objects of that class. Okay, hence this will reduce the number of lines, and whenever you are writing the programs it is always advised to reduce the number of lines, as number one it will take less storage space to save that program. Number two, less memory utilization will be there when you will execute that program. Number three, whenever you are transferring, whenever you are porting some program from one place to another, again the less amount of storage will be required in your portable device also. It can be mailed if it is within the certain amount of limit. Okay, so always the less number of lines of code is advised. Alright, so this was all about your classes and objects. Next is beta, next feature of your Python language is that it is interpreted language. Interpreted language means that it will take the high level languages are required to be converted into machine level language in order that this program can be understood by the computer. Okay, so this language can be understood by the computer. So for this translation we use compiler or interpreter, and these two are known as language translators. Compiler takes whole program at once and then it translates, and interpreter takes line by line. Okay, so in this Python language you will get interactive mode where your statements are going to be executed line by line. That is why we call it as an interpreted language. Alright, so these were your features of your Python language. Next is beta working modes of Python. Okay, working modes of Python. So there are two working modes. One is your interactive mode, which will act like your interpreter. Okay, and the second one is your script mode. Okay, which will work like your compiler. Okay, so these two modes are there if you want to solve any, or if you want to write any particular program in your language, that is Python. Okay, so in the interactive mode you have you will be having execution of statements one by one. Okay, one by one, and the main feature of this particular mode is that it is having this Python prompt. It is just like your in MS Word you have this cursor blinking line here. It is just like that only, and it will appear by default. Supposedly you are writing 10 plus 2, it will give you result 12, and again by default this Python prompt will come. Hence line by line we are executing the code. This means that it is an interactive mode. While in script mode, what you have to do, you have to click on file. Okay, in your Python window only, in your menu bar you will get this file option here in the starting. When you will click on file, you have to go to new file, and by default a new notepad. Okay, this you have to remember, that when you will click on file and then new file, a new notepad window is going to appear in front of you, where you are going to write the whole code, and then you have to save it with your name and .py. Here beta .py is the extension of your program, because by default notepad is going to produce the text files, but you want to create a Python file here, so you have to define the extension, and this name can be user defined, but .py is mandatory here. Okay, so this was all about your interactive and script mode. All right, let me give you few examples of your interactive mode. That supposedly I am writing hello. Okay, then same hello will be written here, and then new Python prompt will appear. And here supposedly I am writing 10 is great as 10 is less than 110. Okay, this is true, so new Python prompt will again appear here. Okay, so this is about your interactive mode, right? Next is beta your print function. Okay, print function. Every function is followed by a parenthesis. In Excel also we used to do this, right? So print function is going to print the values which are given in this parenthesis. Okay, now for example, if I want to print 1, okay, why I am using this single quote? So that it can be considered as a string only, a string operator only. Okay, so it will print 1, and by default this new Python prompt will appear. Okay, now there are 3 separators of your print function also. First is comma, second is /n, and third is /tab or t. So these 3 separators will help you to change the view of your printed element. Okay, for example, if you want 1 space, then use this comma. If you want your if you want your output to be displayed in next line, then please use this /n. Okay, next line. And if you want 5 space gap, okay, a particular 5 space or 1 tab gap you want, then use tab. For example, if I am writing print 10 \n 20, right? So the output is going to come like 10 and 20, right? And then new Python prompt will come by default, and this will not come here. This will be output and new Python prompt will come here. Okay, and if it is like if instead of this n it is t, then the output will be 10 20, a gap of 5 spaces. And if it is a comma only, then the output will be 10 and then 20. 1 space gap will be there in between these two. Okay, so this was all about your print function and the separators of your print function, right?